Hey everybody. Well, we had to hop on today, Luis and I, LJ and I,
Yes.
because this is, I have to say, and you have to agree with me, if you're a wrestling fan, this is the weekend. I feel like this is the weekend after what we just saw. Now, I'm not talking about WrestleMania yet. I'm talking about where we are right now. After
Yeah.
what we just saw go down on SmackDown, The Rock's Instagram post to The Rock and Roman Reigns in the Bloodline last night, to Sting's retirement match, which I do want to make sure we have time to talk about. I would like to share some things about Sting, which is I'm very emotional about. And then, of course, AEW Revolution Sunday. We're going to give our predictions. But it started yesterday, LJ, with I go to The Rock's Instagram and he has this 20-minute unbelievable like promo, and it's intercut with hilarious clips that they picked. And I thought like, oh, he really explained and laid out the story. That was what I thought. What did you think
Yeah.
first of the 20-minute Instagram promo?
Well, I'll be honest. When I first saw it, it was 20 minutes. I didn't watch it. I'm not watching this crap. I was like, I'm not, I was like, whatever. And then eventually I got it sent to me by like three people. So I was like, all right, obviously he said some good stuff in it. So I went back and watched it. And I thought it was good. I liked it.
Hey, everybody.
He
Sorry.
definitely discussed like a lot of the plot holes that we were all worried about. So I think that's honestly the main reason they did
Right,
it.
it was to fill the potholes of the
Yeah.
story, right?
Yeah, so I enjoyed it. I thought it was smart. It was funny. Uh, I was just like the best part was that people were saying that it was 15 minutes long, and then everyone was saying how long it was, and then he deleted it and re-uploaded it with 6 more minutes at the end of it. So they were like, he's this guy's a true heel right now. But it was
He,
good. I liked it.
he is such a true heel right now. And I want to just say that I literally going to SmackDown last night. So everybody was telling me, including you, and a lot of people were texting me, I want to tell you what happened. I want to tell. I said, don't tell me.
Yeah, and I'm
Because
surprised you don't get spoiled like on Twitter and
it
stuff.
is spoiled, but I won't look. How am I supposed to have a real-time reaction to it if I've already, seen everything? It really stinks, everybody, being West Coast Fox. Like, that
Yeah.
is not a good way. But everybody was telling me how amazing it
So
was.
what I'm hearing is you're happy about the Netflix deal because you'll be able to watch it live.
I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I am
Yeah.
happy about the Netflix deal. Um, so this yesterday, I was really hating on The Rock. Like he played this up so well that I was like, he was so full heel. I just couldn't believe what I was like. He's so full heel now. The
He's so good.
whole thing, so heel. I don't remember even when he was Hollywood Rock
Yeah.
being this heel. This is like really bad heel, right? Like just evil heel. Um, but I have to tell you, I felt Roman was the best part of the entire segment. I'm sorry. Can we give it to Roman Reigns for a minute?
Yeah, I agree. He's him, and it's always funny that like you'll see when they do these Bloodline segments, Jimmy and Solo just stand in the back. They're just
Try not
there.
to laugh.
Like,
Try
and not
not
even, it's just like for them, it must be so cool to be in the ring with those two guys that it's like let's just stand here and do nothing for an hour. But then you got Heyman and Reigns are just they can tell a story. We've talked about how well Reigns tells a story within the ring and all his stuff.
with
Just by his
no words.
face,
No
just by
words.
his face, it is
No
you can tell
words.
exactly what he's feeling, what he's teasing towards. He was great. They
I
definitely I thought they did a great. The reason I thought the segment was probably one of the best segments of the year was because I think they did a great job, talking crap and going at Cody and Seth, but then also setting up the future feud between them two. You can just tell it's gonna happen. So it
what I
was
love.
awesome.
It was awesome. And I texted you because I could not believe how good Roman was. Like
Yeah.
you could see he's like, he was not happy. Like that The
You can
Rock
tell you can tell that like when he was talking about the tag match, he doesn't want to he doesn't
didn't
want to
want to
work
do it.
two he
He
doesn't
doesn't
want
want
to do 2 nights in a
And I was
row.
like, he's gonna want to do 2 nights in a row. Like, did they
Yeah.
discuss this? Like, it was just so. And then the Rock's, match pitch to Cody and Seth is just heinous. Like, I
I
mean, are they just setting it up for Cody to like have to go against everything? I have a theory though, but you tell me yours.
Yeah, I definitely think the way they're doing this because one, they had to get the tag match in. It's just a little weird to me how like so if that's obviously gonna main event night one and they're gonna accept it, I'm assuming. So you're gonna have that means Seth and Drew night two, and you know what I mean. So I thought Seth and Drew was gonna main event night one, but I guess not. So then my theory is that they did all this because I think The Rock and Roman Reigns are gonna win, and they're gonna have the Bloodline rules match, and it's gonna be all sad and whatever on night one, and then night two, Cody's gonna have to go through all these people, all these people running in the match. I think he's gonna have like Jay come out, and then Drew's. I even think Drew's gonna come out and help him against the Bloodline. I think Seth's gonna come out. Sammy's gonna come out. I think it's gonna be literally like one side against the other, and then Cody's gonna end up winning. That's what I think's gonna happen.
This is what I would love to have happen. Okay. This is what I think because of what we watched on SmackDown.
Mhm.
And Roman is not really happy about this whole thing, right? Until he acknowledged him. I think there's going to be a double turn. I would love to see a double turn. Rock turns on Roman,
Yeah.
Seth turns on Cody. That's to me the way you write it. You want to surprise everybody, you do a double turn. Why
Mhm.
not? Is there a reason we can't do a double turn? Why is Seth with Cody? I'm still not understanding that whole thing. I do love the emoji clown pants, the whole thing.
Mhm.
But is that just so he has a running mate to go against these guys? Or wouldn't it be great if they did a double turn?
I I love. We've talked about it. Seth as a heel is so much better as a character. It feels more natural. Like the face Seth feels so like pushed sometimes, even though he's great. But I just don't know. Everybody on Twitter, like everybody on TikTok, Twitter, all they do is keep saying like you guys are like it's laughable if you think Seth is really with Cody. Like everyone thinks it's guaranteed that he's turning on him at Mania because at the end of the day you can't trust Seth. And I think I'll be honest, like if you're gonna go based off that storyline, like that doing a double turn definitely has more traction for the future because then you have Seth and Roman again together again. I think he joins the Bloodline. Well, not joins them, but like he's just with them.
Right.
And then you have, you know, the feud with Cody and Seth again, I guess. After that.
Or the whole bloodline falls apart eventually here, and it then becomes the Shield reuniting, and you get like Seth and Roman. I think how would here's my question. Would the Rock, this Rock version of the Rock, you're telling me he was okay to acknowledge this
Yeah,
tribal
I
chief?
don't know.
Are
It's
you do you believe, are we to believe this? Or is he pissed as all hell?
but I'll be honest, like if I had it my way, and I've said this before on other shows, if I had it my way, I want Roman to turn on The Rock. I want it to be flipped. I think Rock should go full heel, right?
Which
And he's
is.
taking all the
Mhm.
power, all this stuff, and then Roman gets pissed and takes him out. I think that's the best way to do it, if I'm honest with you.
I
That
don't
but I
mind
just
it at
don't
all either. I think that's pretty brilliant too.
I just don't know if they'll do it because then they're setting up the Bloodline rules match and he's gonna be there and all this stuff. I don't know. But
I mean, that just seems like so loaded. I mean, they're really loading it. And I was reading also people saying Cody's not going to win. It's going to be Roman again. Is
I
it going to
can't
be?
I really
If
hope
they do
not.
a bloodline rules match, the only thing that could happen is the bloodline rules match happens. It gets effed up. Roman blames The Rock for messing it up, something like that, and
Mhm.
then it spirals into this thing. But I, I don't know. I don't trust Seth.
Yeah, I don't neither do I, but I don't the storyline is so good. That's why like me and my uncles were texting about it like they took this storyline that basically only started because Punk got hurt and flipped it
And
into something
and
that,
I also, I'm not interrupt you, but I also think, don't you think because the reaction of the crowd was so anti-rock, or do you think that was the plan?
yeah, no, that I was surprised by that. I mean, like they're going they even like Roman saying it used to be louder, like that was like they're not acknowledging him anymore. They're going they really like Cody, but like they it's the storyline right now is part of it's awesome. Like I love it. It's we like week to week, especially and it just shows like with when the Rock and Roman Reigns show up, it's even better. Like they're gonna be there next week. They're gonna go face to face with Seth and Cody. So it's gonna be. I'm excited. I mean, it's must see. It's must watch. Like you have to watch it.
They're not, and what was great is The Rock announced on that Instagram post, we're going to be in Memphis. We're going to be here. Like he's saying to you,
Yeah.
I'm on the show.
And I
I'm
like, and I, you know what, I like that. I mean, if he's gonna be there, if you're gonna be a part of a storyline, you got to be there, especially on the way to Mania. So I mean, I'm happy about it.
And then I want to know, what did you think? I also loved two things. I loved Rey Mysterio coming back last night.
It's a complete surprise.
It was a
I didn't see any rumors.
surprise. I didn't know that was
He
happening.
got a good pop.
Got a good pop. I think those guys were great up
I'll
until
be
all
honest, that match was actually really good,
it's
and
really
I
good.
think that storyline, I like that. The whole storyline is pretty cool. I mean, I like it. And I would love to see it. Like somebody on Twitter put it, and I agreed. Like I would love to see that end at Mania with like a crazy multi-man Extreme Rules match, four
But
on four.
doesn't need to be Ray versus Santos Escobar with everyone in
I
the
would I would personally rather see like a multi-man 5-man against 5 match, like one of those. Like I just don't know if it's big enough. I don't think I care enough to see Ray versus Santos. I just don't. I like to see all these other guys also fight that also deserve to be on the card that weren't on it last year. So that's the only thing because they've actually been carrying it.
but all of
Carlito
those
and the rest
guys,
of them.
everybody in the ring in that match was high flying. Like the moves were
Yeah, I
great.
love it. Carlito looks a little slow, which is pretty. He looks a little tired
Who does?
sometimes. Carlito,
He does.
he looks a little slow, a
So
little bit,
slow.
but it's fine. He's old.
And what do we
He,
consider old? 40?
he's like what, 43, 44?
He's so old. I see, I love it. I love when people see, because this is true. When we are in your 40s, and if you're 21, we are all old, which means I'm super old. Yeah, I got it. Um, what did you think of Bailey being completely run down? Well, we knew that was coming.
Yeah, I figured that was coming. I just don't know what they're setting up. They're obviously setting up someone coming to help her, but I don't
Jade,
know who.
Jade.
Jade, right? Yeah, I mean, that would be great. I like that. Maybe like a couple girls. I mean, it sucks because like obviously we're all hoping it's Sasha Banks comes out and helps her. Makes the most sense, but it's just not possible. So
Oh, it
I
would be so
I just
amazing.
don't. That's literally like would be. It's a perfect setup, but they just can't.
And now it's fun. I mean, they really made her very sympathetic. You really love Bailey now, right?
Yeah, and I like that. She should be full face, or they're just setting up her beating, like overcoming all of them and end up winning. But I would assume, you
Jade
know,
Cargill's going to come and help her.
yeah, Jade or maybe even like a returning Charlotte can come out and help her. So
Charlotte on her crutches is going to beat them
I don't know.
on.
She looks way ahead of her rehab
Of course
than.
she does, because she's not human.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think Charlotte is human. Um, okay. And then what do you think is going to go down with Randy Orton's going to wrestle who?
Well, I think with them even having Kevin Owens on the,
It's going to be a tag, right?
well, no, I think they're gonna have. I think with even Kevin Owens being there, they're setting up Owens, Orton, and Logan Paul triple threat at Mania.
Yeah.
That's what they're setting up, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Unless they're definitely setting that up. I don't know if they're gonna add one more, which I think it would probably be um if they did like Knight and Styles, but I think they're just gonna do Knight and Styles on their own at Mania in their own little match, and then they're gonna have Logan, Randy, and Kevin Owens, which I think is gonna be a great match. So that's
That,
what they're setting
right.
up with
That
them
would be
two being
great.
there.
Right. And I also think Tippy,
Oh yeah, so good.
is there anyone, I mean, isn't she really like the best
And
wrestler?
she's only been training for like 3 years, supposedly.
Oh, one more thing on this. Please make the squash matches stop on both AEW and WWE. I really hated the Braun Breaker thing for him to come out and spear, very Goldberg-esque. Is that
Yeah,
what you do?
the only reason I think they did that or makes sense is because he's still so involved in NXT that he can't do any big storylines on the main roster yet. So like he's a tag team champion there. So I mean I'm assuming they're not gonna have him like, go against Logan Paul or any of these people for the mid card title. So I guess just to get him on the show, you have him spear somebody and walk off. But I don't think he really needs it. But
So how do you think that's going to end up working in terms of getting him over here full time? When didn't he sign with SmackDown?
yeah, that's why I think they're having him on the show because he did sign a SmackDown, but he's still so involved that they just can't really have him, do anything. Both they can't have two storylines going on at the same time. So I guess that's what they're doing for now until he's done with NXT fully.
Okay, so your prediction right now, you're predicting that Cody and Seth say yes. They do the night one, which is weird to me. Like, do these guys want to wrestle 2 nights in a row? These kind of big matches?
I'm just surprised. That's 3 people that are gonna go 2 nights. It's crazy. They never do that. I
It's
really hope none of them get hurt, but
it's insane.
it's
Uh,
also crazy to have Seth do 2 nights after just being cleared.
is he cleared yet? Not cleared yet.
I think they said a few days like he will be. I mean, he didn't move at he did a stomp at Chambers, so
Do you think Seth could be in on it with the bloodline?
and
Then,
cost
yeah, then Cody
like
has
maybe
absolutely
Seth turns on
nobody. He's
maybe
so
Seth
alone.
maybe Seth turns on Cody like in the tag match, so it's
Right,
bloodline rules. Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's true.
Then he has absolutely no one. Isn't that what the setup is? Like
And
overcoming
then
every
Cody overcomes
obstacle,
everything. Yeah, I mean
everything.
that's what I would like. I mean, that's definitely smart. If they're pushing him as far as they're pushing him right now. So
And do you believe all the Cody fever is legit, or are they like piping that in? And did your
no,
TV go
yeah.
out last night? I kept going black
Oh
to
my God, it
black.
was so annoying. Luckily, I watched it on another thing like after, so I could see the full promo. But it's because of they had a die Rocky die sign.
Is that why? I
It
couldn't
was a
figure
die.
out everything was
They
cut
ended
out.
up they tweeted Sean Ross tweeted there was a die Rocky die on the main camera, so they all the blackouts were because they were trying to censor it out. Even though like you can talk about smoking crack and meth, but you can't have that. I don't.
I was shocked about that. I was shocked that they went that far with that.
The best part was the end when he goes, "Now go home and smoke some crack."
I thought
It
that
was
was so
great.
great.
I let out like a genuine laugh when he said that.
It was so great. And I also like, wasn't like every woman in the audience wanted to be with The Rock?
Yeah,
Was that in
yeah.
there? Yeah.
He was great. I mean, he's so much
He-
better as a heel, just like he can say whatever he wants.
He's the best. You
And all
can't.
I'll say is like, obviously the genuine consensus and plan, I guess, that we think was that he obviously was not planned to be heel. And if he really wasn't planned to be heel, and this was all on top, like flipped on his head, he's doing full, he's going all in. So I appreciate it.
I do too, because if you looked at that Instagram promo, it laid it out. Like I
Yeah,
came in to wrestle Roman.
yeah,
You messed it up, Cody.
yeah,
Now you defamed my family. Now I'm coming for you.
yeah,
Da 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 da, and all of that. You could make a case that you get why he was pissed.
yeah. No, it makes sense. I'm just glad they did that because we needed
Then you
an
need to fill in the
explanation.
blanks. So we have tomorrow night in the main event at AEW Revolution is Sting's final match. And I want to first say I'm so glad you told me that. I loved Wednesday's Dynamite when he came down from the Rapture. It made me
Yeah, it
so
was great.
emotional. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know, how old were you in 1997, 98? Were you watching
I
W?
wasn't born yet.
Oh,
I was -4 actually.
it was so great.
I when I watched
I
wrestling
hope you
full
know that
on,
it was
when I watched
so
wrestling
great.
like full on, like when I was really watching, he was in TNA.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But the best storyline ever, in my opinion, was Sting 1997, 98 against the NWO. It was the same thing. Like he was the babyface coming
Mhm.
down from the Raptors. I watched one today where he flew out, down from a helicopter.
Yeah.
And it was Hogan and look, I mean, they were all there in the NWO and he came down. I mean, it
Because
was,
he was originally supposed to be in the NWO, right? That's what the story was, that he was supposed to be him as a third member, but then it ended up being Hogan.
I think they wanted him to do it
They
or something.
wanted Sting, and I think what I remember watching in that documentary was like they wanted Hogan. Hogan didn't want to turn heel because it was like the same thing
I,
as like Cena. And then Hogan didn't tell anybody that he was gonna come out like the day of, and they were like, "All right, so we need to change our plan." So then Sting was ready to come out as the third member of the NWO, and then Hogan ended up coming out. So everyone talks about like, what if
that's
that was actually
weird
him?
because when I saw another documentary with Bischoff and Hogan and they were all explaining this,
Yeah,
he was saying that Bischoff went to Hogan and wanted him to turn heel, and Hogan agreed.
yeah, no, yeah, it was on the Hogan documentary on the network, like the past few years or whatever they made it. That I saw that.
I can't believe we're really watching him retire. And like, I want him to go out. I hope they do this right. Is there
Mm,
any way in your mind, I know it's AEW, do you think they can do him right? They've done him right okay.
yeah. The only way I think they don't do him right is if it's not his last match and they did all this
It can't be.
for
I mean, he's done all these interviews with the
yeah,
Players Tribune and
yeah.
ESPN. I mean, it
I
really,
just the only thing I'll say is that the only negative I have towards his run was that he never got to fight Darby Allin. I just thought that would obviously happen at some point, just to have one match with him. But I get why they didn't. But I definitely thought that would have happened at one point
now
before he
I
was
have a
done.
question for you because I didn't see the live Dynamite. I don't know if you did. Was Ric Flair backstabbing him
No, so he was
earlier in the night? I heard like he was working, wasn't he?
yeah, like so he came out, the Young Bucks had Darby Allin held up and he had a bat in his hand, Ric Flair, and they're telling him to hit him because he was gonna hit him. And then in slow motion, Ric Flair poked out one of the brother's eyes and then he started beating up the
But
other
I
one.
thought there was something earlier in the night they were talking about that indicated that he played along like he was going to turn on Sting.
Oh yeah, he went into the locker room, the Young Bucks locker room and stuff that they showed, and then they said that he was with them and they were gonna turn on him and they ended up not turning on him and then did that and then they beat him up.
Okay, so do you think Ric Flair is going to turn on Sting at the final
No,
match?
I think that's what they were trying to set up. I think they're just showing that,
It's
like,
not
instead of doing it at the pay-per-view, they did it at the Dynamite to show that he's really going to be with Sting and all this stuff.
because they are really good friends.
Yeah, yeah.
That would really be suck. So I mean, there were, I mean, people were writing these amazing things about Sting. I was just on Twitter earlier, um, with Scott Fishman, who writes for TV Insider, and he's a wrestling reporter, and he was just like, what a great weekend to be a fan. And, Sting's goodbye is like monumental. I mean, he is so iconic to this,
Yeah. No, it's
but you never saw any of his good stuff.
I ended up I rewatched a lot. I've seen a lot of like the old matches like just all time and I've seen a lot of his and I really enjoyed it. I mean he was obviously great in TNA too. Like even though he's not known for that, I mean that was he's done great work there. I mean I'm a huge Jeff Hardy fan, so I know that whole story with him, that match that was supposed to happen, and then Jeff Hardy ended up not even being able to fight. And then I was luckily able to witness, his one return, his one time in WWE that could have been so much better,
They
but
really
it wasn't.
botched it. It was so bad.
I
And
don't
I'm
know how he talked about it. How do you not have him fight Undertaker? It would have been, he says it would have been talked about forever, and it really would have been.
So when here's my Sting story. I think I've told it to you, but not on here. So here's the deal. So I was working at Sony Pictures Entertainment and I created this website called Soap City and we did all soap operas. It was the first ever. And WCW was really hot, like really hot then. And this is like 97, 98, 96 when it was like the thing going up against WWE was actually better in
Hmm.
the Monday Night Wars. And so I came up with this thing that for the daytime Emmys in New York, what if we could do a benefit and I could get some wrestlers from WCW to come and be the judges and the like Young and the Restless actors portray wrestlers and they get judged by the wrestlers. So I
Yeah.
had all these and I said, is there any way we can get Sting? Because I loved Sting. Never had met him. Sting said yes.
Hmm.
Couldn't believe it. I had the biggest star
Yeah, think
of
about it. That's like getting like,
I had the star.
yeah, to come to
And
do something that he didn't even know what it was. Yeah.
but before that, VH1, which was MTV and VH1 back then, they had a show and they loved the idea of what we were doing. So we all went to the LA studio and I met Sting there first before we all flew to New York. And they all signed doggy bowls. They all customized doggy bowls, signed them, and we put them up for auction to raise money for the Humane Society of New York City for the
Hmm.
animals. And Sting was there, and Kevin Nash was there, and Booker T was there, and it was just the best. And I was in heaven. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is so great.
Yeah.
And everything you've heard about Sting is true. He
Hmm.
was the nicest, most wonderful man I've sincerely ever met.
Yeah.
Was like of this stardom.
Yeah.
And then he came to New York. He was there. He judged them. He took pictures. He had the best time. And then about a year later, I was in Arizona, and who's on my plane? Sting, and I meet him there, and he remembered me, and it was great. And I just thought he's just a great guy. And then when you read all these articles, and when you read what Tony Khan said in the media call, how great Sting is. He's not having to do it for money. He's very well off.
Mhm.
He did it right.
Yeah.
I know he's born again, and he kept away from drugs and steroids after the 90s, he says. Um, but I wish you could have met him, because
Yeah.
I really think he's the greatest all around.
Yeah, no, I've seen all these stories. Everyone keeps talking about it. I mean, it's great. I mean, I'm glad, the last run with AEW definitely, you know,
Could have been
washes
better.
down what happened with WWE at least because I mean, I watched the Mania match and he should have beaten Triple H. Triple H had no business winning that match. It did nothing. And then, they had a good little feud with Seth Rollins and then he gets hurt and then that was it. So, I mean, I mean, they tried, they really tried to give him one last, title run and all that stuff, but
So do
um
you think, how do you see this going? We're going to get to our predictions of this. It's the final match. It's listed as the main event.
mhm.
Do you see him going out a winner, or dropping the titles because he's leaving?
No, I don't see them winning, if I'm honest. I think he's gonna go out on his back. But
Do you think
uh
he fly down from the rafters?
I just think that most of the time these like your last match you usually lose, and I can see that just to have them. I just don't see them winning. But I mean I wouldn't. I just don't see them winning, and then I don't see the point in dropping the titles. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense in the storyline work at least.
For them to drop the titles, or they need to drop the titles because
No,
he's
because they win. They're not. They have to win, and then they have to drop the titles because he's retiring. So it doesn't make any sense. So I don't. That's the only reason.
and you're telling me you don't believe he's really retiring?
No, no, I think he is, but I
Okay.
obviously there's gonna be people that think he's not. People do think he's not.
All right. Now, Samoa Joe, Adam Page, Source Strickland for the AEW World Title. I want to just ask, I is Adam Page a heel? I'm confused about his portrayal, because I used to love Adam Page, and I'm not sure what he is right now.
He seems like one of those like tweener guys that like you don't know if he's heel or he's face.
Yeah, I'm with Swerve all the way for this.
But that match is gonna be awesome.
I think it's great. Are you saying Samoa survives, or Swerve gets the title?
I have Samoa winning. I don't think Swerve is gonna have it yet. I don't think he's taking it yet. I don't think in a multi-man match he's gonna win.
But do
I
you
think that's
but do you feel that really does anything? Don't you think
no,
Swerve?
I want Swerve to win. I think Samoa Joe's gonna win if I'm gonna predict somebody.
Do
I don't
you
think I don't think they're ready to give it to Swerve yet.
do you think MJF will appear?
No, I don't think so.
You do not.
No,
What's he doing?
he's hurt.
But they all seem to limp out during these matches.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be there yet. I don't think there's anything for him. It's too early for him to just come back and be in the feud again.
I would be really disappointed if Samoa Joe wins. I just don't find him interesting.
Neither do I.
It's like a
I've
boring.
seen a
That's
lot of
your. You
AEW
went from
booking.
MJF to Samoa Joe, and that's your champ.
I've seen a lot of AEW booking, and I don't know if I don't think they're gonna give us a Swerve yet. I mean, I hope so, but I hope I'm wrong.
Uh, Tony Storm and the virtuosa Deanna Prazo. Tony Storm.
Yeah, I'm
You know,
sure. Yeah, Toni Storm. I think so. And she's so good.
and do you think Mercedes Moné will just be waiting till next week on Big
Yeah,
Business?
yeah.
Not, she won't pop out now.
I think we're getting Okada tomorrow. Tomorrow.
How do you feel about that? A botched move by, you don't care, or a botched move by WWE?
I don't like think it was. You go to AEW. It's one of those think about it. But think about it. Everybody was saying, "Oh, WWE fumbled so hard by not getting Jay White, and he's over here doing. He's in a 9-man faction. Like it doesn't. They don't need him. WWE does not need anybody. So right now, like they actually need less people because their roster is too
So
stacked.
bloated.
Like they're gonna have LA Knight opening WrestleMania and not with a title in his hands. So you know what I mean. They don't. Okada would have been in NXT if you really think about it.
True. Now, one match I'm really interested and excited about is Will Ospreay against Takeshita.
Gonna
That's a
be probably
great.
the match of the
I
night.
mean, that's the match of the night.
Yeah,
What do
Osprey's
you
gonna
think?
win. I think
Ospreay's got to win, right?
so good, but that match is gonna be awesome. It's
I
gonna be
feel like
great.
that's the one is going to be worth the money. If you're
Yeah,
not watching it for Sting,
yeah.
I would get this pay-per-view for that match.
Mhm. It's gonna be great.
And you're gonna go with Osprey.
Yeah, I think Osprey's gonna win.
And then Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong for the international title. I have a feeling this Orange is gonna lose.
I think Roderick's gonna win. Yeah, that's
Because
what I
aren't
have.
they doing this whole the Kingdom
The
faction?
worst, the worst
And
storyline in
where
wrestling.
is Adam Cole? Has he been on TV?
I don't think so.
What? Eddie Kingston versus Brian Danielson Continental title. I don't care.
And
What?
and if Danielson wins, he has to. I mean, if Kingston wins, Danielson has to shake his hand. That's the stipulation. Like I think it's so dumb. It's so dumb. And we've also seen them fight like 8 times.
Why do we want to see Brian Danielson in this guy? We've seen it a million times. And also, what is Brian Danielson? What is he wasted or is this it? Like, not wasted drug wise. I mean, like, that too.
No, I actually like his work. I just don't like the feuds he's been doing. I think I don't know. I'm not really a fan of his stuff he's been doing lately.
Christian Cage and Daniel Garcia, I could see that being a good match for the
I
team.
think Edge is gonna come out.
And
Sorry,
who's going to help?
and I think he's gonna cost Christian Cage.
You don't think he'll side with Christian and finally flip because he's
I
got.
don't I don't think so. He just got concerto to the back of the head. I don't think he's going to.
You think they give Daniel the title since they've been really propping him up?
Yeah, I think they're gonna. That's how he'll lose Christian. I
FTR
like
versus,
Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia is good.
he's great.
Yeah,
FTR versus Moxley and Castagnoli.
I just feel like we've seen it again. You know, it's I don't. There's gonna be blood.
Of
There's gonna be blood.
course.
There's gonna be blood.
Um, our FTR is good at, what happened with that? Is Cash Wheeler is not in prison?
I guess not. You could just whip guns out and no one cares.
I mean, what is the deal? Um, All-Star Scramble match. I'm trying to follow this. Who's in it? Ricky Starks, Chris Jericho, Hook, Powerhouse Hobbs, Brian Cage. Is that
Yep.
something? It said
The
winner
winner
gets
gets
a
a
shot at the
ticket.
title.
I don't want to see anybody win that match. No one. I don't care.
I don't want Jericho.
I would
I
assume it's Wardlow. That's what I'm gonna say.
Wardlow. Yes, Wardlow.
Yeah, I would assume it's Wardlow, but like I don't care at all about that match.
Yeah, this isn't. So, do you think this is a good card?
Not really. I'm not that excited for it.
There's only like three things I'm interested in,
Yeah, Sting, Osprey, and the
and
title match.
Swerve, and
Yeah,
Swerve
and I get to stare at Tony Storm for 20 minutes, so that's pretty much it.
in black and white.
Yeah,
Black and white. Okay, so when should we come back?
I guess on the review of AEW Revolution, unless something crazy happens and we got to do it Sunday.
Well, don't they have to do something? What are they going to do with Mercedes?
They should never come out. That's it.
But she doesn't have anyone to wrestle.
I know. I know. I agree. I agree. It doesn't like I don't care. I really don't. She's missed. She's best. She's doing the wrong thing. She should be in WWE. There's so many people there that she can have feuds with.
And why do she? Is it all about money and she didn't want to go?
I seriously think like as no pun intended. She really just
I
cares
am
about money.
excited that my friend Jennifer Pepperman is at AEW because maybe she can
Yeah.
zhuzh it up. I don't know. I mean, they've got to do something.
So she should be helping Bailey at WrestleMania and then fighting for the title. But whatever. She doesn't want to do that. Wants to make more money and Tony Khan unpacks his wallet.
All right.
Oh, we got the returning Ty Dillinger and Sean Spears NXT.
Oh my God, I want to ask you about that.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
I was surprised. I like him. He's
I thought
good.
it was a
I was
great surprise.
shocked. It was good. It was cool. NXT is great.
I mean, is he now Ty Dillinger or was he Ty
No,
Dillinger?
he's Sean Spears. That's his real name. He was
Right.
Ty Dillinger.
He was originally Ty Dillinger there.
It was Sean Spears in AEW.
I know that. And I liked
And
him.
now he's Sean Spears again.
Right, they didn't do anything with him in AEW.
Nothing. Nothing. So I mean, I think NXT is good for him again to be back there. So I definitely think he'll do some good work there.
All right. Well, we will be watching AEW Revolution. We're gonna have our hankies for Sting's final match. I hope, and I hope he gets to. Do you think he'll get to talk?
I hope he jumps off a ladder tomorrow.
Oh, and lands in like a table or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's good
Or
at
he
that.
flies from the zip line onto somebody. I just hope he doesn't do too much and gets freaking injured.
Well, I just want to say one more thing. You do realize you were right all along. It's like when we're watching Sting, it is hard when you see how great he was moving around.
Yeah,
You know, he's 64, I
yeah.
think. So, do you think that's time to hang it up?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I definitely think he looks fine for a 64-year-old. Like he sometimes I forget he's that age because then you see like guys like Undertaker were like 50 and they already looked like they could barely move. You know what I mean? So like he definitely has kept in good shape. But
Did you
like,
did you see his sons?
yeah,
Are they
yeah.
going to wrestle too?
I mean, I would assume so,
I'm
right?
thinking so because aren't the Von Erich?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like if I was to compare that, like you watching this tomorrow is like if I like when I'm eventually gonna watch John Cena's like last match, like that's like what it's gonna be like. Like it's that bad. Like
It's
I'm not gonna be
really
able to
bad.
watch it.
I'm oh, I know. I wanted to tell you, I'm really not looking forward to this
Yeah.
because I feel like you would feel the same with John or even Jeff Hardy.
Well, Jeff Hardy, I still get to watch, but the only sad thing is I don't think he's ever gonna get like a last match. He's just gonna eventually retire. You know what I mean? Because he's like done so much wrong.
But I was going to say that's what the beauty of this whole pro wrestling is. Like, even what you're saying is like we've all watched these people. It's like you're watching them for years,
Yeah. Like
literally
30 years. Like
30
yeah,
years.
yeah, yeah.
And what others, other than soap operas, which is why I draw a comparison, you have characters that are on for 30,
100%. Yeah.
50 years. There is that comparison. Where do you get that in sports where
Yeah,
like
no.
that we
Yeah.
all feel like a part of it?
Hmm.
So we're
Yeah,
watching
because at the
a
end
guy
of the
go,
day, like you can have sports and all this stuff, but like the reason you feel a part of it is because you can't have wrestling without the fans. Like we are like at the end of the day, we are wrestling. Like if there's no fans, they're not having these shows. So that's why you always feel so like, included. Especially nowadays with like social media and everything, it really is even more. So,
and I guess you're taking a trip.
yep, next Thursday.
That's exciting.
I get there on Thursday. I technically leave Wednesday night.
And while you're away, we're supposed to find out if we're going to WrestleMania, right?
Yeah, March 9th. Yeah. So I'll be there. That's the third day I'm there. So I'll get one. I'm gonna be 6 hours ahead of you. So, oh no, I'm at 6 hours
Nine,
ahead.
nine,
I'm
nine
saying
of
I'm 6 hours ahead of Eastern. So I'll be 9 hours ahead of you. Yeah, that's crazy.
so I'll have to remember to text.
I'll be
So,
9 p.m. when it's 12.
and you're going to Spain.
I'm flying to Madrid for 7 days for spring break as my graduation gift.
When is spring break? Now?
It's no, not till next week. So when
Right.
I leave,
Spring
when
break
I
is,
leave, I won't be missing any school because it's a spring break trip.
and then you come back and then you're almost done.
And then I come back, I have like less than 2 months left. That's it. And then I get to go into the real world.
How exciting. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm excited. I hate school. I'm ready to be done.
Yeah, it's time.
Yeah, yeah. I've done school for 18 years. I'm ready to
Ready to
call
go?
it. I'm ready to make money and not be a
Oh,
broke college kid.
yeah. All right. Okay. AEW Revolution tomorrow. More of the fallout of The Rock and this incredibly amazing story. It's
Yeah.
just, it's fire. It is like,
Mhm.
I have never, ever, 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 ever in my 60 years ever
Yeah.
seen a story like this. And
Yeah.